duze khona nje sohlala nje. Sonke, not even on cameras, just uxoxa nje.
Yeah,
Especially about business.
Sidla inyama nje.
He's passionate about business. Nyama would be great.
Yeah.
Oh, nyama would be.
No, I can sponsor the meat.
Come on.
Yes, angithi
Wena
angiphuzi.
noma ijombela?
No, I can sponsor the meat.
Wena noma ijombela?
Ijombela, of course.
Oh, ngithi mhlawumbe ijombela isikuholela kahle.
No.
Uzocela ijombela isithenga inyama.
Ngicela ijombela isubsidize isithenga inyama, yabona.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sibonga ijombela and the owners of
yes,
the company.
you know.
For their generosity.
But, you know.
Ngoma so bese sibonga wena kanti akusiwena.
Akusimi. Kunama shareholders actually did not recognize us. Kumla ubani Mark Williams.
Okay. Soccer player?
Yeah, is it Mark Williams? But no, Paul Endline.
Yes.
Go to Cora, so I know I want to thank my wife. Agabonga ma midfielders of Ampasi. Abo Chabo Moki, nabo Tabang Panda, but you'll ask your girlfriend next time what tak pass. Abo Shakes Kungwan. You know, so you must acknowledge people.
A lot of people say things like when you meet their children, which is a beautiful thing to say. When you meet their children, they're like, no, this is the board. Lona nje njengoba the eldest, this is the chairperson of the board. Njengoba ngisebenzela yena. Uyena isikhulu sami.
Yiba decide.
And the similarity between you and my brothers, you guys would name your children after Ithakazelo.
Yeah.
We've had intwana yakho la uzikote. I don't know if you have more kids because I see Madondo, Mwelase.
Yeah, I've got 2 more.
You haven't named them after Ithakazelo? Because my brother named his kids after Ithakazelo.
No. It's only Uzigote, the firstborn.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is he doing?
He's doing okay. He's doing his last year after.
Okay.
Yeah, and he seems to enjoy, you know. Yeah.
Does he have a plan after this?
I'm not sure, but he does animation.
Sure.
Yeah.
How years when?
Ngiyayazi mara Popeye, bro.
That sounds like hate.
No, it's not hate, but look, this guy waqala ukuthanda Popeye azalwa.
Sure.
You leave him there as long as the TV on beyangakhali. So he's namanje at 22 sabukela Popeye. So he loves movies were animation, unama series awabukelayo animation, so yeah, and Nabo Popeye, he goes a long way. So
what's the plan?
That's what he does.
What's the plan for him, for you as a family? So he's studying at EFTA.
He's
passionate in animation.
Yeah. So for me, is to connect him with people who are in his industry and support him.
Okay.
Setting up whatever he might need. He'll have to come to me and say, Dad, I need 1, 2, and 3, and then we make a plan as to how he gets it, and then I invest in his business. And he starts, but we'll take it from there once he's ready. I've given him that offer, you know.
Okay. No, Siyabonga. I've got a couple of questions for you. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're well, Butwami. I appreciate you in my life, man.
Thanks.
I know we don't speak as often as we should, and Siwapi is in our various ways, but from when we first met, Kwakse Rodeport, Hill Fox.
Yeah. Ungathi road report. It's under road report.
I think it's under road report.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And we've spoken about this off camera and on camera that you've just got a magical touch, which I think every time when people meet you, nje, you know, unesandla esifudumele and nje ukubonga. And the number of DMs which you know because we've spoken about it, that I've received every time we sit down.
Yeah.
Especially of young guys. Seeing a father in you, seeing an older brother in you.
Sure.
How can I get to Madondo to mentor me? And I'm like, what business do you run? No, it's not even business. It's just, he seems like someone fetongangisiza ukuthi nje, ngiqondisa indlela yami.
No, and lots of them have called. Yeah, lots have called, and I haven't turned anyone down. And the most beautiful thing, it's when I see them updating their statuses, moving from one level to the next. The other guy called from Mabopane. He took a train from Mabopane. He came. We met at neighborhood in Linksfield. I didn't know that he came so far. So when he told me that, no, I took a train and then I did this. And I'm like, hey, Joe, you should have said, maybe I would have driven maybe as a centurion. So that at least meet you halfway. But I listened to him. He's staying with his dad. He's got an RTP house. He wants to get into property. At least he's now working. And I advise him, no, use that. Speak to dad. Build with daddy a nice room. take the RTP yard, yenza ama-room amahle nice, and why is it too expensive? But just don't make them cheap as well. Just gave him directions and also gave him pointers. Two months ago, he sent me pictures. He did exactly as I said.
So Wakil.
Jeez,
what a man.
He did exactly. And he did not have much. I told him that you don't need a lot. You just need to be focused and don't want to do everything like sputuputu. No, just as long as you pace yourself. Even if you lay one line a day.
At least.
It's a line that you are not going to lay tomorrow. You've laid it today. And after 6 months of having that discussion, he sent me a 2-room that is done, ready for rental, and he's done it beautifully. And he did it himself. So to show that.
What do you mean he did it himself?
No, he did it. Most of the work, he did it himself. Yeah, most of the work, he did it. The painting, the work that he could do, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things. No, not so many. There's a few things to take from that story, which a lot of people miss out on. Someone saw you, because we see a lot of things in life.
Yes.
Sonke.
Yeah.
And they said, no, I think there's a gold mine there in the form of knowledge and information and wisdom. And they reached out. And they didn't want to bother you to say, they were like, whatever it takes.
To get there.
I don't have money for a taxi.
Yeah.
I don't have a car. So what I can afford, which is a steamer.
Yeah.
And they got on a train to come and see you. And they said, I will sit with you. And in sitting, they listened. He didn't come and say, listen, what I'm thinking of doing. And he listened to what you said based on what he has.
Yeah.
And you gave him advice, which he listened to say, this is what you have. I don't have a fancy house. We have an RTP, which means we relied on Uhulmen.
Yeah.
And you are telling me that already RTP naturity is something. Start there. And he listened and he went home and he said, no, Madondo said I must do this. And it is difficult to beat someone who is teachable and who implements.
Look.
Intoni yafundiseka, yabuyele ekhaya, yathi ngizozama lokho engikwaziyo ngezandla zami. Hey, those are the stories that we want to hear.
Those are the stories we want to hear, man.
Yeah.
And they go from a guy who does a RTP to a guy who wants to meet a chairperson of Sasol.
Yes.
Yes. Because fortunately, I'm blessed with that span, of knowing people. And it's not because I've done anything. It's because I've been, number one, around quite a lot.
Yeah.
Number two is because I've been blessed to be around people who are progressive. And number three, I've also been blessed with the fact that people like me.
Yeah.
You see, when people like you.
Yeah. No, that's a special gift.
When people like you, when you ask something, you might think it's a lot, but because they like you.
Yeah.
I had a friend who wanted to meet one of my mentors, one of the people that I look up to. Fortunately, and he was in a very good position, chairperson of Sasol Africa. So he wanted to meet him so that he can become his mentor. And then I called the man, and the man agreed. And then I took them, and then I connected the two, and they connected. I have a guy who still works at FNB. He wanted to grow in FNB. He actually did not tell me what he wants. And I said, you work at FNB, which division? He says, no, I work at West Bank. I said, I know the CEO at West Bank. He says, no, man. I said, yeah, but that's not what he came to me about. Yeah. He came to me wanting to know how to grow and this. And I spoke to him and I told him how to grow. And now as I'm inquiring, who are you? Where do you work? What do you do? And then he tells me all these things and I'm thinking, oh, I know so and so. And I ask him, do you want? He says, no, I would love to meet so and so. He says, don't worry, I'll make a few phone calls. And I think 2 days ago, they were posting pictures. He was congratulating the CEO, the CEO for being appointed as the CEO of FNB Business.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, there you go. So those are the things that I am humble and I'm aware that these are just gifts that I need to pass on.
Yes.
I don't.
When you identify your gift, the job from there on becomes to give it away.
Exactly. Yeah. I say to people, I don't have a problem with people who want to make lots of money. I just have a problem with people who hoard things.
Yes. The universe doesn't work like that.
It doesn't, and it does not allow hoarding.
Yeah.
We are
frustrated. You become a victim of crime because
you're hoarding.
You're over indulging in something that was meant to be shared.
You know, so I believe in a philosophy that you just have to be a river. You can be a small tributary, but these small tributaries, as they come together, they form a big river as it goes towards the sea. You know, even the sea, it might not look like it has an outlet. It does. It makes the rain to rain.
100%.
That's the outlet, because it must receive and it must give back. So whatever you do, whatever you make, man, it doesn't matter how much. I don't have a problem with that. You can go kill yourself, you know, can go and do everything and accumulate as much as you can. Just don't hoard. That's why I have issues with people who've got quite a lot of things that they don't use, you know. Just don't hoard. And because you remember, the bicycle that you might not need, it changes somebody else's life.
Yeah. That's a business tool for someone else.
It changes somebody else's life. It brings food to somebody else's table. But yeah, that's me. So I've been good. Good.
I sat with a gentleman, usekhulile.
Yeah.
Umkhulu omlungu, Charles Maysal. He's one of the co-founders of Black Umbrella.
Okay.
Which would partner with Ishanduga at a time to create. They created a directory. I don't know what happened to it, and I think I forgot to ask him. But he spoke about, he lectures, I think he still does, I'm not sure if he still does, but he used to lecture entrepreneurship, I think at UCT, with the Raymond Ackerman Academy, Pick and Pay. And one of the businesses they helped fund, I forget the name now, something Express, I think. In the Cape, ukuhambisa imithi, medicine
yes,
to
yes, I've seen
and
that.
the like.
I've seen that, yeah.
That was a big success for them.
Yes.
So uyangikhumbuza nje ukuthi your RDP is an asset.
Yeah.
Your bicycle is an asset.
It's an asset.
Dr. Miles Monroe would speak about you can turn your stove into a factory to bake. If you can't turn your lounge, if you can't turn your parents' lounge into a mini church, you don't deserve to have a rem.
No.
So use what you have, because God does not give you what you pray for. God gives you what you can manage.
Yes.
And if you can't manage 100 Rand, He won't give you 1,000.
Exactly.
You can't manage 1,000, He won't give you 10,000.
Exactly.
100,000, 1 million. And we see the story every day on I Blew It.
Yes.
Ukuthi imali uyitholile, but you can't manage it. And you're going to find ways to get rid of it, because your mind, your lifestyle, everything is not used to lend or
exactly.
Once the 5 million ibuyela to a place where you're comfortable, let's say to 50,000 or 200,000, ingqondo yakho goes back ivuke.
Exactly.
If you had nothing, you're going to end up with nothing. Ngoba vele, that's all your
That's
brain
where
can
you
handle.
are. That's where you are, you know.
Yes.
No, it's true.
People work with people they like. People work with people they trust. And trust is built over time and delivery. I think I'm taking away from you. Nothing beats relationships.
Nothing beats relationships. You know, as much as I did science at school and I studied engineering, when I got to ESCOM, I remember Rotec Engineering. It used to be a subsidiary of ESCOM then, but now it's fully owned by ESCOM. It's called Rotec Engineering.
Okay.
ROTEK. There's a guy there, Saki van Wyk. I went to an interview, HR interview, and then they were happy. You know, HR, they tick boxes most. And then now you must go to a department that is going to hire you. And then Saki was the one who was going to hire me. And then I got there, and then he was late.
Yeah.
And then he comes in, he says, are you Sifiso? He says, yes. Says, tell me about yourself. And then I told him, said, okay, the interview is finished. I'm like, I didn't get this job.
Yeah.
And then I left. And then they called me. And then I
went,
yeah.
Just chatting. Tell me about yourself. Not the work. Not the technicality.
Not the work. And then I came back, he said to me, and I asked him, why did you hire me? Because you didn't ask me any technical question. I was prepared. I had studied what Rotec does, this. He said, no, I looked at your smile. And I said, that's my guy.
Saki van
Wyk. And he hired me. And from then on, he moved me from engineering. He put me into sales.
Yes.
My first job, my first task as a sales engineer, he gave me a Cressida station wagon. You know, a Cressida is, you've got the ones that has got the station wagon, full of wine that I need to go and deliver to all Rotec customers in the Free State. Gave me a credit card, they booked me a place, I drove to Free State. I was there for a week, seeing different customers, delivering, gave me business cards. And he told me something that I'm trying to tell you. He says, you can lose everything. Don't lose a contact. And you must always be at the client's doorstep at all times. So I will have a schedule, a week. I knew every customer's birthdays. All their birthdays I knew. A week before, I'll send them a card. Then we did not have your WhatsApp. We had email.
Sure.
So I'll make a card, PowerPoint, make a card, and then send it. And I'll keep all their details. I had, then we had this book. It was like a diary, but it had pages where you put your business cards. There will be a day where I just phone everyone. Even those who did not give me business, just to check them. So I learned that you don't lose contacts. Even when those people did not benefit you or you did not achieve what you wanted to achieve, but you just keep the contact. At some point, that contact you are going to need. And when you need that contact, because you always call, every month, once a month, maybe every 2 months, depending on the interaction and the response, that person knows that you are there. Yeah. And for some reason, I always made targets for my sales. I always got bonuses. Eskom was still paying then. Yeah, no, kwakusemnandi. So I got paid, and I always made my target. And I was always in the top 2, top 3 of the sales guys everywhere I went. All the companies that I worked for. So I learned that from sales that number one, I've got to value people. So I've always valued the contacts. I've always kept the contact. You can tell even with you. I don't call Penuel when there's something that I need. I'll just check and say, hey, Pen, are you okay?
Sure.
I haven't spoken to you in 3 months, man. Oh, sharp. And then we'll have a small chat, even though Penuel penduli most of the time. But yeah, whenever he does answer, then we'll have those small chats. And yeah, but it's beautiful,
I'm trying to find a note here. Here it is. Before I read this note, one of my favorite money channels on YouTube is called Kosher Money.
Kosher Money, yeah.
Or Living L'Chaim, with Eli Langer. And there's a video that he made by himself revisiting some of the lessons he'd learned from a lot of the rich Jewish people he'd come to teach on the channel. And he says, sales can get you to spaces that like qualifications cannot.
Yes.
So if you can learn how to sell, you no longer need a qualification. Robert Kiyosaki would say the same thing after he left the military as a pilot, going to sell Xerox printers. Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, anyone will tell you that if you learn how to sell, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So taking you out of an office where you're dealing with technical, and the technical guys are very important.
Yes.
We mustn't pretend like they're not. But you can sit in an office as an engineer, or you can go and sell and meet human beings and understand the real business you're in. So that when you go to the engineering guys, you explain specs but learning to sell, once you know how to sell Eskom products, you can sell anything. Because again, it's relationships.
It's relationships.
It's feedback. It's customer management. It's profit margins. They'll tell you about the competitors. There's a Chinese ufunda so much.
Look, I tell my son, he started driving, I think 2 years back, and he comes back home, he's got a ticket. And I'm like, how did you get a ticket? He said, no, the guy stopped me, this, that. And he said, my car windscreen was like, and I know. I said, I know, I've seen the windscreen.
Sure.
But how did you get the ticket?
Yes.
And I said, have you seen me? Have you driven with me? He says, yeah. Did I ever get a ticket? He says, no. So what do I do? When the traffic officer stops me, number one, I stop and I smile. I open the door and I laugh. I tell you. And when I laugh, because laughing is contagious, he also laughs.
Sure.
He wants to know, why are you laughing? And I'm like, Ish, I've done so wrong. And there's so many things that are wrong with this car.
Yeah.
My man, I'm depending on you to let me go. And look, I give him his platform. I respect him.
Respect, yeah.
I really...
If acknowledge your wrongs as well.
I acknowledge my wrongs. Yeah. And if I see his badge and I know the isithakazelo sakhe,
yes,
ngiyamusho. Yabona, if ngiyabona ukuthi okay, ufake ibadge ukhuluma ngespedi, ngiyamngena ngespedi. Yabona? So off guard. I've got this guy off guard, number one. He's not going to ride me. He's now going to want to listen to what's wrong with this guy. And then he listens, and then I start telling him stories. We start chatting. I start telling him, and I started appreciating one of the lines that I use all the time.
Are you giving away your game?
I tell them, good guys.
I'm a traffic cop.
I tell them, guys, I appreciate you. You know, I was in Uganda. You know, in Uganda, there are no police officers. In the morning, the cars go that way. If you are going the opposite way, you want to hammer. In the afternoon, and I was like sitting at the hotel there, and I'm looking downwards, and I'm like, oh, this chaos. When I came back home, every time they stop me, I say, guys, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
If you are not here, go highway.
Yes.
Now your presence makes order. Yeah. And then he sees that, okay, this one is one of us. And then you know, those who write me about mama bang pala, but not
bonke. Mama.
Hey, women are serious.
Mina ke mama bang pali mina.
Yeah, ngit manje wena uyabona.
Angikhulumi ngeUganda mina.
No, when you've got the charms. So mina
I try. Charm. Kodwa kushuthi mhlambe ilimi alishelela ko mama.
Abo mama, I know. That's the only tickets I would get. If I have tickets, maybe once a year it will be a woman. And
I've heard women never get tickets from men. Women. That's one thing I know.
Yeah.
The tickets that women get are always from other women.
I get tickets from women. I don't get tickets from men. But not all women. Not all women, but mostly all my tickets that I have
come from women.
Yeah, from women cops.
Uvusi Tembekwayo speaks in a video. I don't know how many years ago he made it, where he speaks about ukshela. And in the video, he speaks about learning how to get investors.
Yeah.
And that there's this skill that young boys are meant to be taught, which transcends the space.
Yes.
And obviously today now we speak harassment. So asakwazi ukufundisa abafana bethu bashele, but it's still a skill because you don't teach them ukuthi bashele for the sake of ukuthola intombi. It's learning how to win and woo people over. Ukuthi once wazi ukushela icherry, ufika kwi-till fethu yabo usisi fethu had a long day.
Uyabona?
Siswa munjani? No one has greeted her. Hey banifukuzisa la.
And appreciate the real
and you
things.
appreciate, and you know. Yeah. And what tends to happen with me, this is now a hack. Hey, should I share this hack?
No, you should.
No, not me. You know, bona two guys or a guy and a girl, a couple, two guys or maybe figure like a Tilly, you know, someone that does service. Guba like a comedy skit where they tease each other so that the service person will share.
Yeah.
So we are figure out, hey, when njalo mele koke mina.
Yeah.
Or mele koke, guys, bongo imbokodo ziyasebenza ndikhokhele. Then the cashier is like, hayi yini ekumele nikhokhe. No, mele khokhe ni noma. Now we're engaging and it's so namachi if njalo mele khokhe mina musungijwayela kabi. Sisi mele khokhe ubala. Hayi buti ngathi nango nemali. Kimi onemali. Uyambona le khehla lelintshe. Now we're laughing and we leave, she's giggling. She's lighter. If I ever needed something, I win. So nje ukushela, which unfortunately mawumjida and you learn ukushela ugcina usuneyintombi eningi by accident.
That's the problem, yeah.
Because manje uthi uyashela is ukupractice ngana mambo ushela. Hey manje ubuya neyintombi eziwu5. And once wazi ukushela, just like the contacts. Awazi ukuyishiya intombi.
Ayaliwa.
Ngoba manje ngithi sengikushelile wangiqoma. Ngenze njani manje ngoba ungithandile. The customer likes you, Madondo, please come back. You can't say no. Anyways, I want to read this. We're not even starting on the topic of today. I'm going to try and read it as quickly as possible, but I want to highlight this thing which you said. These are the habits of rich children. Teach children the importance of calling family, friends, teachers, coaches, and etc. on their birthday. So this is how you build relationships.
Yeah.
But let me read this thing. The fact is that the poor are poor because they have too many poverty habits and too few rich habits.
Okay.
The best parents teach their children good habits that lead to success. And the worst parents teach their children bad habits that lead to poverty. We don't have a wealth gap in this country. We have a parent gap. We don't have income inequality. We have parent inequality. Parents and our schools need to work together to instill good daily success habits. They need to be teaching children specific rich habits that lead to success. Here are some examples. Limit TV, social media, video games, and cell phone use to no more than 1 hour a day. Require that children read one non-fiction book a week and write a 1-page summary of what they learned for their parents to review. Require children to aerobically exercise 20 to 30 minutes a day. Limit junk food to no more than 300 calories a day. Teach children to dream and to pursue their dreams. Animation. Have them write a script of their ideal future life. Require that children set monthly, annual, and long-term goals. It doesn't matter what the goals are, but just teach them that habit of setting goals. And then obviously, I guess you review. Did you meet your goals?
Yes.
Require working age children to work or volunteer at least 10 hours a week. That's a lot, but even 1 hour just to volunteer. Require that children save at least 25% of their earnings or the monetary gifts they receive. Teach children the importance of calling family, friends, teachers, coaches, etc. on their birthday. Now, this can be applied anywhere now.
Yeah.
Do you know your colleagues' birthdays? Do you know does your boss care? Do they have children? That small thing of good luck to your kids, ngibonile ukuthi badlala kuphi, or ngithenga ama-Powerade, I heard ingane yakho is playing sports, just batshela to Uncle Pen.
Exactly.
Teach children to send thank you cards to individuals who help them in any way. Just to go back with gratitude and say thank you. Here's the wine, Crescida.
Yeah.
Whether you gave us business or not, we just want to say thank you for having a relationship.
Exactly.
Teach children the importance of calling family, friends, teachers, coaches, etc. when anything good or bad happens in their lives. The examples include births, congrats on your new baby, deaths, sympathies and condolences, any awards they get, any illnesses, etc. Reassure children that mistakes are good and not bad. Children need to understand that the very foundation of success is built upon the lessons we learn from our mistakes. Discipline children when they lose their temper, so they understand the consequence of not controlling this very costly emotion. Anger is the most costly emotion. It gets people fired, divorced, and destroys relationships.
It's true.
So ingane yakho when they're angry, throwing tantrums, the reason you punish them is, I just want you to learn to manage your emotions.
Yeah.
Just for future. Teach children that the pursuit of financial success is a good thing. Don't demonize money. Children need to learn how to manage money. Open up a checking account or a savings account for children and force them to use their savings to buy the things they want. This teaches children that they are not entitled to anything. It teaches them that they have to work for the things they want in life, like cell phones, computers, fashionable clothes, video games, etc. Require children to participate in at least one non-sports related extracurricular group at school or outside of school. Some of your best relationships would come from esontweni, drama, doing charity work, just because you were forced to go and do that thing.
Yeah.
Parents and children need to set aside at least 1 hour a day to talk to one another. Not on Facebook, not on the cell phone, but face to face. The only quality time is quantity time. Teach children how to manage their time. Teach them how to create a daily to-do list. They can put their to-do list on their bedroom door so parents can check each day. This links to the goals. Obviously, it's not possible to follow every rich habit recommendation listed above. From the research, I've learned that all it takes is 1 or 2 of these rich habits to completely transform your life. The reading habit on its own can set your children up for career success. The savings habit on its own can set your children up to be financially independent. The exercise habit on its own can set your children up for a long, healthy life. The happy birthday, life, or call event calls on their own can set your children to forge strong relationships. Pick just 2 habits to teach your children and stay on top of them for 6 months. After 6 months, these habits should stick.
You must send me that thing. It's beautiful.
Thanda gabi. 500 rand.
No, I'll buy it. Uyakhumbula wangicharge la ngemeeting yakhe yokuqala.
Yeah, charge.
Yeah, no, I paid this guy $300, not 350.
I think you paid even more than that.
Yeah, and I bought the meal.
Because you were like,
as well.
This means nothing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I also bought the meal. But I could see me. One of those things that I have, I told you, for some time, I gift to see. Yeah, I'm able to see. Mostly lap, I'm able to see. No, there's diamond there, there's this there. And even if upumendleleni, sometimes it does not, I don't control it.
Yeah.
It just happens. Sometimes I can see, hey, chief, don't do that thing. Your time is up. You know. So yeah, when I met you, I saw that this guy's going places and you haven't arrived.
Mina.
You haven't arrived, but you are going places.
You know, one of the things people don't understand, and I know it's a black thing.
Yeah.
Because we are Africans. But for the rest of the world, it's a poverty thing.
Yeah.
The idea of paying people for their time and for their skills is something people don't understand. Ufos Tembewa would call it being a knowledge merchant.
Yeah.
I've accumulated certain knowledge and maybe even experiences which are going to save you money or make you money.
Yeah.
And the idea of paying someone for their time and their skill, in that time, like a woman, we am shela. And I think Caspar Nyovest would speak and make a video about not every woman you meet that you're attracted to is meant to be for romance or for sex. And he learned that. But in her rejecting you, the way you approach, and someone you're meeting with a lawyer or Penuel and you pay him for his time. Just number one, you're coming to see if there's anything of value you can get. Yeah. If there's nothing in that 200 Rand, 500 Rand you paid, sure. But is there anything beyond that? Do you have children? I remember the few times I've met with Jewish successful business people, a lot of them keep books like this. And they tend to, in that meeting, when they're meeting you for the first time, ask a few standard questions. Where are you from? Who are your parents? What do your parents do? What business are you in? Where did you study? Which church do you go to? Because just those few answers can link them to so many things. Yeah. In that, I'm not going to help you with Lento Ifuna Yamans. But I found out you work at ESCOM. Hey, what do you do at ESCOM? Because mkampe khona umuntu engimazio that you can link.
Exactly.
What do your parents do? Lento yenzayo anginendaba nayo. But I just found out your dad's in construction. Does your dad build rooms? Because maybe I don't need him to build a room, but I can get him business. Skandimali. And in this time, same with Ticheri, we've met, I found out what you're doing. It's fine. But I just found out where you work, what you do. And I'm like, listen, sure, you don't like my flavor. You know, you're into dark Ghanaian men. I'm just best. But maybe I can help you in some of this stuff. You're a junior where you work. I think I can help you do something. And this also could be a cheat for my cheater to say, life. I like you, what. Learn the skill of when you're in a space with a chick. Read what she's into. She's wearing a wig, okay? She's wearing Louis Vuitton, okay? Or you're just like, hey, I really like your wig. My sister is into wigs. I don't know where you bought it. No, I bought it at what? Okay, how much was it? It was 3,000 Rand. 3,000. I think I know a guy who does this quality wig at 1.5. Yeah. Really? Yeah. But anyways, thank you so much. I'll try. No. Look, you must link me to your guy. No. I just forgot his thing. You can take my number. I don't want your number, Siswam. You can take my number. Yeah. Chet is like, I'll definitely contact you.
It's a cheat. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said you'll plug me with no problem. Sorry, this is who? Oh, okay, no problem, Siswam. I'll see what I can do. But you come back, you're like, you know what, I was wrong. They actually 3,000. But you know what, I'll keep searching and I'll let you know. Let the phone number and I reach out. So, anyways, I just wanted to say that.
Look, all those things, those cheats, actually, the one of the best, it's a byproduct, actually, of if you have a service mentality.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time that people can feel, man. As much as they can hear you, but most of the time they can feel you. So when you are genuinely serving them, they can feel and they let their guard down. And then you genuinely can open any door you want, can get anything that you need. As long as you are there with the intention to serve.
Yes.
Once you serve, things just happen.
You can go far.
Yeah, once you serve. It's true that if you need help, find somebody that you can help.
Yes.
It's true. That thing, it did not make sense when I was young. But now with the few years of practicing it and doing it, it's a nice cheat that if there's something that you need in life, find somebody that you can do something for that they can pay you back. That thing, that service, that person knows someone who might be an answer to the questions that you have. Yeah. So just serving people, just generally serving people.
As a habit.
As a habit. Generally serving people as a habit. Generally serve people just as a habit. It makes, number one, your life lighter. Yeah. Number two, it opens doors that you did not even know they existed. You know, the referrals that I got, I'm doing a project now in Don Park for one lady. We removed the old house, we're building a new house. The guy who referred me to the lady used to be my tenant. Okay. He couldn't pay. So we parted ways. But I've got this principle that I have to say, guys, I don't have storage and storeroom to take your stuff. If you can't pay me, okay, I will trust you that you are man enough that you'll come back and pay me.
Yeah.
But take your stuff so that I can use the house. And then I release them. And because I don't have this heart of being rude and holding grudges, I just can't.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm angry, I just burst for that time and tell you where to get off. But after then, I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know, no mahamba, make sure ukuthi rumuli right, and then siyaqhawulana. In fact, I know life is hard. It can be hard. All the best. But if you are a man enough, you'll come back and pay me. Sure. He never came back, this guy. But he phoned me the other time. I don't know where he got my numbers from. And I get this number, I don't know. And I'm answering, hi, how's it? He says, hey, man, uzwite kanje, kanje, kanje. Oh, okay. Hey, in fact, man, my girlfriend wants to build, so I thought of you. And then he gave me the work.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I had an option to be a typical mustang, you know, and tell this guy where to get off.
Yes.
Lock his things up and just mess up things. But I had an option also to be me and do things how I do them. And say, Chief, life is tough.
Yes.
I know.
And life is long.
And life is long. You know, you might owe me now. I don't know how life is going to turn out for you. But if it turns out good and you owe me, come back and pay me. That is the only requirement I put on that guy. And I let him go with all his stuff.
Sure.
So generally, as a person, when you go out and just serve, life opens doors for you in an amazing ways. And I'm talking about something that happened 4 years ago. Now that this guy comes back this year.
Those are universal principles.
You know?
The universe somehow, once you do that, it starts shifting.
Somehow it balances, you know. I know people say, no, good guys eat late. Hey, man, I don't know where that thing comes from. You know, this Americanization of everything. That you must hustle until you die. People in America work 3 jobs. That's not life.
Yes, it's not life.
That's not life. I don't know why we aspire to be like Americans. That's not life. They actually should aspire. We have the blueprint of life.
Ubuntu.
We have a blueprint, whichever way you look at it. Culturally, whichever way you look at it, we have everything. Those guys should come and sit and learn from us.
Intombazane mfethu mawufika mhlawumbe kumsebenzi noma kukhonto enzakalayo. Intombazane oyibona izothile, iklina, ibingelela. Every guy there will hold her in a high regard.
Exactly.
Mawufika emsebenzini as well, I had usisi la uNokolo who spoke about yena she can't be with the men ongakwazi ukuhlaba hlinze.
Yes, I saw the episode.
And it was just the principle of, you know, we get to a place, the girls are with their nails, their wigs, my makeup.
Yeah.
Then there's the dirty girl, ogqoke iphinifa, who's wearing a duke, ohamba nje eklina, sanibona but senphuzile itiye. On the opposite side, there's a guy ohamba naye ecosha, uyabamba, uyaqubula.
Yeah.
Those people will go far. And again, these are principles we just need to teach our children.
Exactly.
And people around us, our friends. Sifike endaweni, amajita afuna ukubloma ngaphandle, avule ibhuthi, aqhumisa some of us siyangena njengeyidwedwe sibuze singasiza imoto ikhona la, is there anything we can go buy stone mhlawumbe kushort i-ice or siyothenga siqubule just and then sochila ngaphandle, we don't mind. Those people in life as a principle just go far.
They go far, Chief, because you don't know who you're serving. That is the thing, you don't know who you're serving. And the person that you are doing a disservice to, you also don't know them.
Yes.
Yeah,
someone at that event is a CEO, once it comes out with, hey, this is the CEO, laba kade bephuza ngaphandle, the girls with their wigs jump to him. Sorry, can I send you my CV? Uzothi yes. Azodlulisa nje isicefe. Angeke abaphendule. Wena mhlawumbe ongayifanga uzoza kuwe yena. Athi kuse manje wena i-CV uthi hey baba bengazi, but if you're willing I don't mind.
Yeah.
Uthi look, never mind your CV, give me your phone number. Come to my office on this day at this time. When I don't even want your CV, I just saw the way you are moving here. That you can't buy attitude. No. You can always teach. Yeah, you can always teach skills.
Skills you can teach.
But attitude.
You can't.
Yes, please show me. Like, we can go far with this guy.
Yeah.
He's willing to sleep on the floor, gibela on the back of the baki. Angolu tekse. Upenuel lokugcwele idust, please kovana no daga no cement. And you're like, no, I thought I knew this guy because bengibona cheese, man. But when me English Upenuel my podcast, like, hey, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy is not what I thought he was.
Yeah.
And it changes everything.
It does. It does. I had a talk with a friend last week, and then he says to me, "Hey, Chief, when I first saw you, I didn't think you'll come to my place and spend the night and sleep there, sleep on the floor and sleep on the bed, And I'm like, why? He says, no, man, you are sophisticated. He said, no. He says, you are not glamorous, but you are sophisticated. I didn't think you'll come to that level. I'm like, but Chief, ngibuye lokishini, ngibuye Tembisa. And besides, ngikhulele nasemakhaya. Ngiyaya emakhaya ngoDecember nango good, nangama holidays. I know ukuthi I'm not going to get that sleep.
Sure.
Yeah, as long as ngilele ngingagodoli nginengubo, it's fine. Ungifakela amanzi ngigeze endishini. It's okay.
Sure.
Why would I come with standards? And
hey, if people were to see your home as well, because your home is stunning.
But why would you come with standards, my chief?
Yes, I sat at Varsity. We were having lunch at our dining hall. I think it was Kimberley Hall at Rhodes University. There's a gent from Botswana there. I'm not going to mention his name, but he looks at me. He's like, hey, you cheese boys know nothing about life. I'm like, what do you mean? He says to me, do you know there are still people in Africa that use oil, paraffin lamps?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like, maybe from a textbook. Oh, do you know there's something called a long drop? Where people, I'm like, when I visit my grandmother,
we know
he's like, you're just saying when I Penuel, you don't know what you're talking about. In that moment, I found myself thinking, maybe I present incorrectly.
Yes,
so I felt funny.
Yes.
Yeah. But I also realized people really make a lot of assumptions about us. Just because
they do.
Okay. Uhlelo of the day. We may as well start it now. I've got questions for you if you don't mind.
I saw the last one. It made me laugh. But yeah, let's go. Shoot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. You ready for all of them?
Yeah, no, you can shoot.
Let's start with the last one, the one that you laughed at.
Yeah.
Do you think you're better off than your extended family? If yes, what do you think makes or made you different? If no, then it's fine. We can just shut down the question. By better off, I mean financially, of course, success and not uti.
Yeah, no, I like the question. The reason it made me laugh is because I really thought about it and I laughed because it made me realize that how blessed I am, number one. And number two, I am blessed because I had a lion of a father who raised us.
Ak.
No,
Uzigote?
No, Uchombela. That's his name.
That's what's up.
Yeah, my company is named after him, Uchombela. That guy, he was strong. I'm looking at other families. Ne? There's few families who are able to move from one generation to the next and up the game. If Generation X took at this level to 2, Generation Y must take it to 4. There's very few people who are able to do that.
Very few.
Very few. But Umden Gachombela, with all his kids, almost, I think, 2, if not 1, is at the level Gachombela or lower. But everyone else is above. Everyone else took the foundation that Uchombela made and we raised the bar. So, yeah, I think I'm fortunate because when I read that question, I did not only confine it go monetary value.
Sure.
I looked at the kids that we brought. I look at the families that we created individually. I look at the effect that we have in society differently as different siblings. I looked at how we relate to each other. I was telling one of my friends, we've got this forum that we belong to, Abantu Abashadile, it's called Faranani. I tell my friends...
It's called, sorry?
Faranani.
Faranani.
Yeah, Faranani. We meet once every...
Does it mean anything?
Faranani is a vendor word meaning Bambanani.
Bambanani.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So what we do, we just talk about marriage. We are a marriage support group, in essence.
That's beautiful.
So when we listen to what other people are dealing with their siblings, I tell my siblings that, what, having my siblings in Zwana now is such a flex.
It's a huge flex. Just took Zwana. Never mind sharing money, building.
Just we're not beefing. We are not beefing. Guys, we are not beefing. We are not beefing. And in a setup here, we come from a polygamous marriage. My dad had 2 wives. We're supposed to be beefing according to the standards, and we're not. We're not. We actually support each other to the hill. You know, we really carry and make sure that we succeed. So this is where I've seen this blessing that comes by just being able to not beef, and also seeing that the family is like moving from one level to the next. You know, our kids, when they chose their careers, because we're at the level where our kids are now working in the careers that they chose their careers not for the money, because they know that the money is covered.
That's privilege.
That is a huge privilege.
That's privilege.
To be able to choose a career, you know, not worrying about whether you're going to make money or not in this career. It's a huge privilege.
It's not based on survival.
It's not based on survival. So I'm looking at these kids and I'm like, all the choices that these kids have made, no one has made a choice because the career they chose makes more money. They chose the career because they wanted to choose the career they chose. And I say, wow, we've achieved something.
Yeah.
We're really blessed, you know. But also, Uchombela was a traditional Zulu man.
Okay.
But he also was very smart. I remember one day, I'll tell you a story, I was with him at Pasin.
Why did you say, but he was also very smart? Aren't traditional Zulu men smart? Wafagu but.
Okay, he was also very smart.
Oh, and?
Yeah, very smart. Not like average smart, but super smart.
Super smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Ngoba manje kuzothiwa yeah, very traditional Zulu men are stupid. But Uchombela was different. No, he was traditional and
he was super smart.
Super smart. Sorry, story se pass.
Yeah, we se passing from Alexander. We're going home. So this guy is standing up. We are Shumaele passing. He's preaching. This preacher's preaching, and I'm sitting Nobaba and his friend, passing Padkopas. So this guy is preaching, and this guy who's sitting Nobaba is saying, ungazositshela kunini nithi uJesu uyabuya uJesu akabuyi, yabona. And my dad looks at this guy and he says, "Hey, baba, ufuna uJesu abuye ngathi?" He says, "What if uJesu ufuna abuye ngathi?" Yeah. Athi yekela lo muntu ashumayele man. Yabona. You might not agree with what he says, but all what he was saying is that, have you hedged your bets? Have you? Let's say we are vele. Mina nawe asike skimini sakhe emfethu senkingeni.
Sure.
You understand?
That's what Ramaphosa does so well. Akaheji.
We are hedge asbal. We are hedge. So this guy would hedge. So I could see all the things that he taught us when we moved from Etembisa to Etropeni. And then I said to him, look, Dad, the houses that you're renting in town, they're making more money than as a selection. Sell as a selection and invest this side. He says to me, it's a good idea if you look at short term, but the long term is not. And I'm like, how? He says, not all of you are going to be successful the same. If any of you is not successful, it's cheaper to stay in the township than in a auction. So if Sasi Tengsile Leand, where will they go?
That's vision.
That's vision. You know, fortunately, no one has gone back.
Sure.
But it's there in case, you know, things don't add up for you.
Yeah.
You know, you can always, you know, so yeah, he was. So I can say because of his wisdom and because of the things that he's taught. And I guess, yeah, because people ngesizulu bathi akuvelo kanye singewona amadlebe embongolo. You know, imbongolo mayivele entabeni, amadlebe wayo ubona
wona at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So abantu they don't do that. People, so there are places where I've done very well.
Yes.
And there are places other people have done very well.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I am blessed to say I am not the most successful financially in my family.
You're not?
No.
That's also a flex.
That's also a flex.
Yeah.
There are other siblings who are more successful than me financially. No.
Oh, that's a blessing.
So
when people are like, say imali, you're like, hey, baba.
Yeah.
Ukristu Visa was interviewed, I think it might have been by Bruce Whitfield, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's available on YouTube. He was being interviewed at a time where he'd just been listed by Forbes as the richest South African. He was worth 100 billion at the time. And this guy's like, how does it feel to be the richest South African? He's like, hey, listen, I'm not, number one. Number two, the problem with these lists is, yes, they make us a lot of new friends, but they also make us a lot of new enemies.
Yeah.
But going back to number one, he's like, if I were to tell you some of the farmers and other business people I know in this country that have money, I wouldn't be on that list. But I'm appreciative. But hey, Baba.
Yeah.
So when you know that, that's a proper flex. Ukuthi hey bafethu ningangiboni ngishane hey khona inkunzi malanga la ngaphandle.
So yeah, the answer is no, I'm not the best.
Yeah.
But I haven't done badly.
What did you learn from Uchombela? So you're giving us a sneak peek into he was involved in property, which is something you're in now.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving us a sneak peek in that you spent time with him.
Yeah.
Which means uthola ukuncela kancane kuye.
Yes.
So I want to ask from a work perspective, from a business perspective, from a knowledge perspective, maybe just highlights of how he added value to your life. And also to answer the question, how much time must a father spend with their child, ideally?
Sure. Ideally, they should spend the time with their child every day. Ideally, every day. A good father, let's qualify it. A good father must spend time with their children almost every day. I spend time almost every day in Uchombela, unless he was traveling.
Doing what?
When he come back from work, he will sit us down. Simkhumuli Katulo. There's a paper that used to be called Ilanga Lasenatal. There's a portion called Ujojo.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cartoons.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll read the stories ka Jojo. We'll sit down there, all of us, and then he will read those stories for us, interpret and tell us stories and ask us what are we learning from the story every day without fail. On Saturdays, my dad worked as a handyman and he had skill.
Sure.
Big construction skills, he had them. I mean, he would build a house single-handed, just the two of us. He had skill, so he transferred that skill to me. So on Saturdays, I know like 6, 7, if I haven't left the house 6, 7, I was going to work the whole day. So I'll spend time with him.
Work ethic.
Work ethic, you know. And one thing that he always told me, he said to me, ungavumi ukuhlulwa yinto.
Yes.
Meaning something that is not breathing can't defeat you. So never give up. And he also told me that you must never allow life to bully you out of your blessings.
Sure.
You know, he told me a story. I didn't know that my dad sometimes read the Bible, but he did.
You didn't know?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Hey, this is actually a lesson which it doesn't matter how atheist or non-Christian you are. You're willing to read every other book in the world except for this one. And this one affects so many mindsets. And when meanwhile, it can win you. But manje ngenkana angeke ngazi ukuthi ubani oshisayo, angeke ngazi uphi coach or blind.
Yes.
Which means I can never be able to connect with a group of people somewhere.
Exactly. So he told me a story, Sika Samson. He said Samson had to give Delilah the secret where his power was. And then they cut his dreadlocks. He said, but the story...
They cut his what?
His dreadlocks. You know, Samson had dreadlocks. Had locks.
Yes. He had dreadlocks?
Yes.
That means he was a black guy?
Yes. Kantwana, what do you think the Jews in the Bible are? White? No. And they cut his dreadlocks.
They cut his dreadlocks.
Yeah. And he says the moral of the story is like, it does not matter how difficult things can be. Don't let people irritate you out of your blessings. He says, when you've done a job and you must be paid, it does not matter how difficult that client is, collect that money. Take your time, but collect the money.
Sure.
Collect the money. You've worked. It's yours. That's your blessing. Go get it. If it means you must humble yourself, go get it. Don't lose focus of the goal. How you get your goal is another story.
Yeah.
But don't lose focus of He says lots of people get angry and get irritated and digila, you know. But no, leave it. You think this thing is going to make me. He says, no, that's not a good attitude. He says, imagine if you are going to leave 100 things, you know, in 10 years' time, how much would have you left at the table?
Yeah.
He also said to me, whenever we go and buy, you must always ask for discount. Says, give the shopkeeper a time to say, No.
Yes.
But ask for the discount, because if you accumulate these 10 rands, 5 rands over 365 days, if you are going to purchase every day, it's a lot of money.
Yes.
Just don't be too proud to ask for discount.
Add value to the table. Don't be scared to take from the table if it's allowed.
If it's allowed, you know. So I've learned quite a lot, ngobaba, and just being a man, you know, and also just serving his community. My dad was a community guy. He served his community. Everyone knew ukuthi umntana kho makahlupha mele ubizwa Madondo.
Come on.
Madondo will come and sit down with the boy and talk to him, take him to a stadium, make sure makafuna ukuthi lo ufuna ukushawa Madondo uzodila naye, yabona.
Qondisa igwegwe.
Uzoqondisa ubugwegwe Madondo. So he always was that guy that the community could go to, you know. And the fact that he could manage 2 women, it's something that I only it's something that I only got to appreciate when I got married.
Yeah.
To say, hey, time is tough with one.
Sure.
You had 2.
Kunzima la.
So I could really see, you know, these are shoulders of a giant.
Yeah.
So my dad was a giant. Obviously, he's going to be a giant to me because I'm his son.
Yeah.
But you must be a giant to your son as the father, you know. So my dad was a giant, and I still miss him to this day. He's almost how many years now? We're going to, I think, 18, if not 19. Yeah, since he passed on. But yeah, he's still the man. When I speak about him, I light up.
Umsebenzi wakho uyabonakala. So you can tell us your father was a giant until you're purple in the face.
Yes.
But if you're going to say, look, whatever greatness you think I am, that guy was multiples that. So hey, nidlala ma games.
Mamela, one of the things that makes me not give up, and I think that's one thing that has helped me propel myself to where I am now, is that when I want to give up, I look at my father and say, you know, my father came to Joburg, I know standard 3. That's grade 5.
Grade 5, yeah.
And he joined his brothers, Bahlale Hostela, and he started working with construction at that age.
In grade 5?
Yeah.
What age is that? 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, somewhere there, because when we bakala late esikolweni, bakala late.
Mhlambe wena 13 maybe.
13, 14, when he came from Kaluk Sevens, and he worked. And when he died, he had so much. And I'm like, look, this guy had everything against him. He didn't have his parents, he didn't have his mother's support. He had everything against him, but he made it. I've got education, I've got family support, I've got sibling support, I've got everything. Look, I live in a better country compared to the country that they lived in. I'm not living under apartheid. I'm not disadvantaged in many things. And I'm so advantaged. And he's actually even given me a platform to start something. You know? How can I fail? And when I look at him and what he has achieved, that thing says to me, you can't fail.
I've got a controversial view, and ngiyasaba ukuyivusa, but I have to, I think. I want to highlight Samson had dreadlocks and the Jews in the Bible were black people, just as a note. Is the one thing. You spoke about the skills that your father had, and it's a conversation that I have with many men and women today. What is the definition of a man? Because the world has changed. What does it mean to be a man? Also, what does it mean to be a woman? But one of the ways, this is just one of the ways. There are many other definitions. When you are in a relationship with a woman, when you are married to a woman, how many men do you guys need to outsource in your home? To define what quality of a man is she with? Similar to a woman.
Yes.
Magvuza ipipe mele kubizwe amen.
Yeah. To come.
Ugesi maungasebenzi mele kubizwe amen.
Yes.
If you guys are feeling unsafe, security points, you have to call amen. When someone needs to take umama somewhere, you need to call. So the number of men that your family has to outsource will tell you the quality of man that you have. And the only reason the man that you're with is not doing the plumbing and the electrical and the what is because mhlawumbe busy usebenza somewhere else.
Yes.
At a higher value than land. It can't be that uhlele sofeni.
Yes.
While a real man, arguably, it's debatable, a real man ucaca istepisi ngoba ubaba akana toolbox, akana stepisi, akakwazi ukusevisa imoto. This is just one of the ways. Again, it's debatable, but similar with a woman, we have these expectations that umama sekhaya uzokwazi ukupheka. Once engakwazi ukupheka, you now have to outsource a woman.
Yes.
Once engakwazi ukufundisa ingane, agadi ingane, you're fetching another woman.
Yeah.
Once mele iwashing, mele kucela u-aunt othi, that's the quality of woman. And the only reason your woman is out is because there's something of higher value. But if uhlele endlini, upende inzipho,
then you are in trouble.
kodwa manje you ubaba have to pay another woman to come and do womanly things.
Then you are in trouble.
So we need to have that conversation. I want to thank my mother, Umamsi, in her clumsiness and her dizziness and her ignorance, because Linda Yenza doesn't make any sense. And even when I ask her, Naye, she cannot explain. My mother did something for myself, my brother, and to a lesser extent, my sister, that the other children of my father missed out on.
Yeah.
Which is sending us to my father in the limited time that we spent with him. And yabo nje ububala nje, things like reading ilanga. Small memories that I would have of my father would be him making me read the Newcastle Advertiser. Awufunde la. Lapho my father would speak a lot of Zulu, and I'd only learn later that his English was quite good, but ngoba wayepantsula wayezenza sengathi.
Yeah.
Even mayibingelela umlungu, wayibingelela ngesiZulu. Ngazi kahle ukuthi isingisi uyasazi. Yeah, unjani? Sawubona. No, ngifuna amanzi. I'm like, why is this guy not speaking English? Because I know he like Umlocho makes me read a piece in the Newcastle Advertiser, as you guys would do to George. I read a piece. He's like, it's in lento ngesiZulu. In my head, I'm like, this guy doesn't understand English. Why would he? Ngicale ngizama explain ngesiZulu athi ayisho njalo. Le gama ulifunda lithini ngisho. Athi no, le gama ngesiZulu is a. Ngithi kanti uyazi uthi qhubeka. What that was doing to me is, number one, he's testing if I understand what I'm reading.
Yes,
Number two, comprehension. Number two, can I actually interpret this to someone else in my mother tongue?
Yes.
He maybe did that with me once, twice, but it was so impactful. There were many other lessons I'd get. And in the limited time I had with my father, siyozingela, ngimbuke coach ibhola, coach abafana, etc. Those lessons were so powerful that I look at my half siblings and I'm like, you guys missed out on so much.
Yes.
And it becomes one of my biggest pains now. And I'm sorry, I'm not criticizing these women because they are amazing, beautiful, smart women. Oh, mama be nganzami. One of the biggest disservice they've caused me and their children is good for whatever reason, umsebenzi or just impilo, sengihlala le eThekwini, sengihlala phesheya. My kids don't get to milk, to suck on this thing where the greatest lessons you'll get from your parents are not, let's sit down and let's discuss. It's just, hey, ngikhumbula ngibona uMadondo mfethu ecaca la nomenza, ngikhumbula ekhuluma ne-traffic cop. Waphuma wahleka and in that time as a kid I was stupid, but I remember it so much because I'm like, baba awukhokhanga? Hayi. Yindaba. Hayi. Khuleka wena. And you're like, no man. I think I'm meant to learn something. I'm just not sure. And then when you're older, you're like, konje uMadondo wayenze njani? Awuthi ngihle khuma awumntungwa awu mkhaya. Yeah, and you're like, oh shit. This is what my dad was doing. But when you deprive your child of that, especially to the bitter mothers, when you deprive a child of their father, you're depriving them of so many things. Ukuthi mayedla uthi mfana angiqedanga la inyama usathi uqedelela asamsovashela uantu wakho sekuphi ijezi. But other things is just education, street. You need to be streetwise. Education that you can't find in a textbook.
You're right, man. And that thing, you spend more times in the streets, by the way. Time, go to the toilet.
Khule.
Ngiphuza amanzi netiye kakhulu. Nekhathi leyo part.
Are we gonna edit that part out?
Yeah, I think MK is gonna cut.
Is it?
And then cut back to. I don't know.
I think sometimes when a guest goes out to use the bathroom, that's my chance to be like, say, guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and please donate to our chat. You know what I mean? Thank you so much to Tribal Media House Water for Amanzi, the art of storytelling since 2010. Huh?
You should.
Carry on chatting. Ne?
Yeah, you should.
Good day. Umadondo was spry, was spray. Usebuyile.
Yeah. So did I answer that question, Mchan?
Women who deprive their kids of fathers. You are making a point.
Yeah.
We were speaking about learning from the streets.
No, you have to. You spend most of your time on the streets than you do anywhere else. So you must know how the streets work, and it can save your life. It's a skill that everyone must have. But above every other thing, man, I guess we're living in different times, and I guess people will always be people.
Yes.
But if anyone really should take anything away from the talk that we're having, is that the impacts of what fathers do to kids, you can't even quantify it.
Even when they don't have money.
Even when they don't have money.
Yeah.
Look, I'm telling you about things. I haven't told you ukuthi baba munginike malini.
Yes.
I haven't.
100%.
I'm just telling you what my dad did with me.
Skills, education.
Skills, education, and the things that he told me. Things that no one will like tell you. But even if they tell you, but they will not have that effect because they are not your father. One of the things that my dad did for us, was, I'm driving with my kids from here to Limpopo. And I'm driving a pretty fast car that my dad had, But mangifika lapha ngizwile, we're going to Ekhweni. Ngizwile, my kids bayakhala benzani, and my dad will take all of us in a kombi from Jozi to KZN. My mom will remain this side. Sahamba sohlala nomamkhulu ngale. So it will be like 8-9 hour trip. Uyi-one with the kids, nomthwalo. Uzohamba nathi, uzobuya nathi futhi.
Yes.
Because there's one thing that he couldn't help. He loved kids. He loved children. He did.
There's something about men who love children, man.
He adored kids, man. Kids will gravitate to my dad. Nabangamazi, they'll just come. He just loved kids. So I think I have that, from him. And I looked at it and I loved it and I adopted it. And I said to myself, if there's any way to raise a child, I'm just going to be a copy of my dad.
Sure.
So we need to have kids exposed to their fathers. And my dad was very disciplinarian. You can't mess up, baba.
And go worse when ubaba uyayithanda ingane.
Exactly.
Awumjahi.
No.
We are feast. For me, I look at courts because I've been to courts, family court. And in my head, I think when a father comes to open an application, the court should do whatever it takes, because we're saying there are so many fathers who don't want their children, and wena baba uzocela ukuba ubaba wengane yakho, like akwazi.
You are going to ask.
We will do whatever, because we know that since you came here to apply, this child is definitely missing out on everything. We can't treat this as a normal case.
Exactly.
Nangu ubaba uzothi ngicela ukuba ubaba ngithanda izingane zami. Khona nje inkinga somewhere, whether umama umndeni womama, whatever, but you're like, no, baba. Now that we know that if we help you, we're helping the community, we're helping the nation, we have less criminals, we have...
Exactly.
So we cannot let this pass.
Exactly.
Baba, sicela inamba yakho, whatever it takes is ukusiza thina.
Men must be helped, Joe. Men must be helped. I tell other men that sometimes you go through the court system, but if it means you must cheat just to see your child,
sure.
Cheat mfethu. Thola utishara lapha ne-crash.
Yes.
Find the number. Go and stand emnyango wase-crash. Your child must know ukuthi ukhona. That glance of ngibona ubabami.
Sure. It was like a ghost.
It was like a... I saw my dad. Obviously umntwana excited uzofika endlini asho ukuthi I saw my dad wenza ukuthi nokuthi bamthethisa umntwana benzeni. Don't stop. Because we are not doing this thing for... It's like being in a marriage. You see, I tell people that when we're in a marriage, one of the decisions you need to make when we are married is that we are not going to divorce.
That's a daily decision.
Yeah, because once you make that decision, you don't have divorce as an option. So if there are problems, you tend to sort them out. I'm not saying people who divorce, they did not make that decision.
Sure.
No. I'm just saying, just make that decision, a conscious decision. I'm not going anywhere.
An old couple was asked, how did you guys manage to stay together for so many years?
Yeah.
Ukoko answers and says, we grew up in a time where when something is broken, you fix it and you don't throw it away.
Yeah, you fix. It's like when you want to see your child, just say, I'm not going to give up on this child. It's tough. It's going to tax you. Because taking a decision does not mean that executing that decision is going to be easy. Especially the decisions that you make conscious are one of those toughest decisions that you must do. It's toughest to execute such decisions that you take consciously. Because the other ones that are just happening subconsciously, they're automated, so you don't even aware that you are indicating. But the ones that you have to be conscious to say, I am not going to give up on my child. Once you become conscious I am not going to divorce my wife. I am not going to divorce my husband. Then you start going deeper in you, finding more tools to make sure that this thing works.
My two last controversial points on this question. I follow a TikTok channel called Tonight's Conversation. It's Black Americans discussing relationships, marriage, etc.
Yeah.
The one woman says this thing, and I'm going to link it to Lendiama Time to say there are many married women who are single mothers. Because as much as Ubabe Konendlini, he's just there physically.
Yeah.
In body but not in spirit. So they're still doing all the heavy lifting by themselves. You said a father should see their child every day. And there are men that are going to say, yeah, but I live with my kids. And we need to make this point that, no, it's fine to live with your kids, but are you making an impact? Because Penuel mhlawumbe ubona iy'ngane zakhe every weekend. But I can tell you in that weekend, the impact ayenzayo is more than you living with your child every day. So in that 1 hour, 2 hours that you see your kids every day, try and make an impact. I think the easiest one that families use is, let's gather at the dinner table and discuss what happened at school. Because then I can give you tips. I can tell you a story when I was in grade 5, or take a walk, leave phones behind. Because now you're forced to talk, exercise as well. I used to take these walks with the timer. And while we're there, we see a car accident or we see something and then we're forced to engage.
Forced to talk.
On something. The second one is, this one's a painful one because this one is most controversial. 2 of my children's grandfather, Babu Nkosi, grew up without his father. And he became incredibly successful and very present father, very intentional about parenting. I wanted to make another example. So Babu Nkosi, we can mention Uchombela as well, that you're mentioning now, that he didn't grow up with his parents, Maubega. No, his parents weren't as present.
No, they were. But yeah, they were very present.
Sure.
Yeah. But I think Ubaba just took up this father thing up a notch. Umkhulwam was very strict.
Okay. No, I thought you were saying Gutu Chombela, his parents weren't around. Joba fike Koli in grade 5 ukuzosebenza.
Yeah, he left his parents.
He left them behind.
Yeah, Umkhulwam never worked for anyone. Umkhulwam was a farmer. A mechanized farmer at that time.
Sure.
But none of his children became farmers.
Your father was here alone?
My father was here with his brothers.
Okay. Chutu Chombela falls out of what I'm raising.
Yeah.
I worry, and this is a chat I have with my brother Pensin all the time. It's a chat that I'm raising with you now, which is why I asked this dangerous question of how much time must a father specifically, we can speak about mothers on another day, how much time a father must spend with their child. Because we are spoiling our children. And when I look at our children, when I look at other men's children who grew up without a timer and who made it a mission. No Babu Nxumalo, sorry, umakhelwane wethu, Uzwide in Newcastle. Now he grew up without his father. And when I look at how intentional he was with his kids, there's a story, I don't know if it's fictional, about the camels are on the horizon. This guy says, my grandfather rode a camel. Yeah. My father rode, let's say, a Cressida. Yeah. I'm riding a Ferrari. Yeah. My children are going to ride a camel. And it's why it's, with every generation, the more privilege, we speak about it as a great blessing, but with more privilege that we get, we take things for granted.
Yes.
And I want to hear your thoughts, but I also want to make this a point for my children to say, in every privilege that you have, try and understand where your parents come from, where your grandparents come from, and be intentional about saying, I want to make my own story, and I will not be a product of being spoiled. It doesn't matter if Madondo gives me a car and allows me to study what I want and I get to travel, but I don't want to be a statistic speaking about, hey, but I mean, no. Umkhulu wami gave us a startup like Amandia. Ubabu Wami built the spaza shop into a supermarket. I will not be a statistic of Sage Sabusa. I will take the supermarket and I'll go into the value chain where we're now farming and we are supplying as well. So that concern of some of these guys, when you have a present father, there's the danger of weakening your kids because they know there's always a soft cushion.
Somewhat. Look, there's two ways. I had a present father. And one here's another thing when I pen. You know, when kids are born, they're born complete. Character, everything.
It's already there in the
It's
starter
already
pack.
there in the starter pack. You are just a shepherd.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not going to turn a chicken into an eagle.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
as much as you take credit for the things that your children do, but you must also take cognizance that if they turn out good, it's not so much about what you've done. You know, it's not like 100% of the things that you've put in. This thing came fully designed. It's a Ferrari.
Ngoba ispan wasishaya ebusuku one night night shift.
Not really. It's a Ferrari, this thing.
Kodwa watshala.
Yeah, wachala. But
Imbewu grand.
when it came out,
It was complete.
for whatever reason, nature selected good, this one is going to be a Ferrari. And you're going to see it growing up with this one is going to be a Ferrari. You know, a Pitlil we are born with a later number holiday is laid back. So as much as when your child turn bad, you know, as a parent, you want to take the burden to say, I've done something wrong. You shouldn't.
I have to ask this question now. You think nature, who you are, your genetics are more powerful than environment?
No, the environment enhance who you are. The environment enhance who you are. It brings out who you are. The environment is critical. It must be good. You know? Because it has a power to tweak and change who you are. But when it's good, it enhances. That means I can take the best of the money and I can take somebody who's not going to be a very good rugby player and give him the best schools of rugby. They're not going to become the best rugby player.
That is a fact.
It's a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. So this is where it comes good. When someone is a goat, they can't be a wolf. When somebody is a wolf, you know, they can't be a goat. So what the environment does and what the duty of the parent is to set the parameters to say, my child, this is your destiny. I can see it. For you to be successful as a sheep, this is what you do. For you to be successful as a wolf, because you are a wolf, this is what you do. You know, I think one of the blessings that you can have as umzali is to be able to recognize early where your child is and then channel that child there. If you've got an athlete and you can see this child is an athlete, your job as a parent is to channel that child. Mamela, your best chances in life to make it is that you must be an athlete. Now, also coming back to the other job that we have as a nation and as people, is to make sure that even those who don't make it in life, man, they don't end up destitute. Because poverty is man-created.
That is true.
You understand?
That is true.
You can be a low achiever in Sweden, but you still live a good life.
Yes.
But if you are a low achiever in Nigeria, you are doomed.
Yes.
So our job as people is to make sure that the world is a better place. That even the low achievers, they still live a good life. If you are a high achievers, God bless you.
Better.
God bless you. The sky is the limit.
Yeah.
That is the job that as people we have. Because sometimes we tend to negate our responsibility and say, because you did not achieve, and put all the blame on this person who did not achieve.
Yes.
And take away the responsibility of making sure that the environment and the world that we are living in
is conducive.
Yeah. And that is our job. It's in our hands. Nothing is going to come from anywhere and achieve that for us. You know?
Let me try and go through these other questions quickly. Do you think that school is still a good place to send children? Would you offer any alternatives maybe? When you speak about hand skills, for example, yes, you went to school, but Uchombela started off with Ama basic.
Yes. Look, I think school is one of those things that needs to always have a dial, you know, a dial where you change stations.
Yeah.
As things change, you must always change. So whatever school you choose for your child, you must really make sure that their dial is okay. They've moved with the times. They're changing with the world as the world is changing. because things are no longer the same.
Yes.
I mean, when you see what AI is doing and your chat GTP and this other program are doing. I was reading a essay that my daughter was going to submit, a Sizulu. And I checked this essay and I'm like, you did not write this.
Yeah.
And she then said, hey, my baby, you did not write this. He says, how do you know? I can tell.
Yeah.
This Zulu is too deep for you.
Yeah.
I can understand it. When you understand it because you've Googled the term,
Yeah.
but I can understand it. You see, so you see where the world is going now. So a school must also move with the time. But the other thing that we've also neglected, and I think it must come back, it's not right, man, Penuel, when you have kids and then you expect me to employ them. It never worked. Any successful nation, number one, it pulls together. Number two, it works as a community. Number three, whoever you are responsible for, you're always responsible for the yard that you live in and the front. You're always responsible for that part. If you do that part and the neighbor does the part, then the street becomes good.
Yes.
So when you've got kids, if they get employed by Deloitte and Touch and Eskom, good shot.
Sure.
But they should be absorbed by whatever you've done as a parent.
You can't birth a child where you don't know where they're going.
Exactly.
Kanti, what's the point?
If you can absorb them in your businesses, prepare them so that Umlotwa can be able to absorb them with ease.
Sure.
And thank you for the product that you've produced.
Sure.
So as a parent, that responsibility you can't negate.
You're saying if schools should mirror the needs of society.
They should.
Otherwise, they are not
They're useless.
doing the job that they're meant to be doing.
Currently, the schools are, I'm sorry, but currently they are not doing the job they're meant to do.
Joshua Maponga speaks about this all the time, and I reference it all the time, that the school was meant to be, well, education, but also meant to be a source of problem solving.
You can't live after 12 years, I was going to next.
Ingane fethi buye ekhaya uyazi ukuthi umama nobaba bayashayana, bayidakwa, nama-potholes kini, ugesi awukho, there's poverty, ama-Pakistan aneyiphaza. Uyafunda esikoleni every day, and nothing in this 12 years has helped you solve one
problem.
of those problems.
After 12 years, I don't have a license. You don't have a driver's license after 12 years. You don't have a driver's license. I mean, driving is a surviving skill.
Everyone knows you need to have that.
Yes.
At least.
At least.
Learning how to do your taxes. At least. Because everyone is meant to pay tax.
Joe, we don't want to talk about growing your own food. That's like taking it too far.
Sure.
Just being able to drive. Because I'm thinking that what we're producing now is kids who can speak English. That's the only thing you can give to the schools. When you listen to them, mabakhuluma lapha. And there's something that you said on one of your posts, and I looked at this thing and I'm like, you're right. You know, we are sitting on the arts and culture. You know, at the school, these kids are listening to amapiano, but none of them can produce.
Yes.
None of them can combine a beat by producer. Can you imagine if kuba koni competition amapiano schools
competition?
Yeah, on who produced the best song. You know, so schools must be an environment where even if you don't want to go to varsity, once you're done with grade 12, you can go and make a living.
At some point, it used to be even grade 9.
Yeah, it's grade 8. Maybe JC, junior certificate.
Sure.
Mono JC, you could go and work. You know, so I'm thinking that we are really doing disservice, but I also understand why. Because an empowered and an educated populace is difficult to control.
Yes.
So if you want to stay in power, that's why it's difficult to get a business license, but actually a business license is very far. It's difficult to get your house plan approved, and it's easy to get a license at tavern.
How's it go as Madondo?
So if you get your population drunk, I'm telling you, you've won.
There's a question I'm going to skip here.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have it one day, maybe not, because I'm happy with the story you told us about your father. The question was, who are your top 3 role models in life and in business, and why?
Okay.
That we can park for another day. These last 2 questions I'm going to combine in one.
Yeah.
You are in construction. Ijombela does construction.
Yes.
Maybe if you can just tell us what your business does.
Yeah.
And then I want you to answer, who or what is the construction mafia in South Africa? Who are the big players in construction? And do you think or do you know that they are big because of merit, that they worked hard, or because of government assistance?
Hey, yes, I guess when it comes to me, because of the background that I have, number one, being conscious of the struggle that our people has gone through and being part of the struggle. Number two, being raised in the church for a long time, and I've spent the best of my years at church, and I'm grateful for that. It made me shun away from doing work for the state. Because principally I'm adverse to paying Ichocho. So I haven't registered my business with the state. I've always done private work. And also the other part that I also didn't like about, because I had few businesses that I did for the state where we did work, but we did not get paid. So I don't understand this thing of the state wanting us to become their bank, because you do the work and they come and evaluate and then they pay you. So I haven't done quite a lot of work in the state because of those reasons. I'm not saying it was a good decision, but I'm just telling you why. I did what I did. So having seen quite a lot of things and having been exposed to quite a lot of businesses, I know that lots of businesses, they've really made it and became big because they were supported by the state. Because the state is the biggest procurer, guys. You can't run away from that.
Over 2 trillion, if I'm not mistaken, if not 3. Between 2 and 3 trillion.
All businesses are tenderpreneurs. Don't let anyone lie to you.
All businesses.
All businesses. The biggest ones, actually, they're even more tenderpreneurs than any other businesses. Because number one, they set the standard, they create bodies like CIDP. Those are gatekeeping things, as if they are looking at, because about NHBRC, those are the things that you must belong to. Those are created by big business, of which when they started, those things were not there.
That's correct.
Now you must comply with all those things. I would comply with those things if those things really helped my business to grow.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, belonging to NHBRC, of which I am. NHBRC from time to time must send me a list of work that is out, saying this is the work that is out, please tender on this. We are having training for all the construction managers. Send your guy to come for training, because you are a member to this organization that is state-owned, that is supposed to make sure that the construction industry performs. And one of the ways to make sure that it performs is when you give people opportunities and you give people training. None of that is happening. They're just there to tick a box and to come and check where they are doing things. They only get hit when things did not go right, like what happened at George.
In Georgia, with the collapse
with the collapse building, NHBRC took a hit, a big one, because they did not do their job, but they don't do their job anyway. So those bodies that the big business advocate and say you must belong to, those are the big bodies that they use to gatekeep. So look, I will not take it away from big business what they've achieved. I want to be a big business. I don't want to remain a small business. I want to be a big business. But I also am cognizant of the fact that, most they've been big by merit, but most have been big because they were supported by the state.
Sure.
And the state must support, the state must create big businesses. It's the state that has the power to create all these things so that we can consume our people. If the state was fully participant in the economy in our country, it would have been very far. But because now private sector has made the state to be a paper pusher and this and that, so they take everything. Actually, our biggest problems, for the first time in Mlojo, after the elections, we spoke before the elections. After elections, the results were there and out, and that's when it dawned on me that I don't know actually why I'm voting. Actually, my vote does not matter. No, the vote of the majority, the democracy is a fallacy. The vote that you voted does not matter. If you listen and I'll give you a typical example. Go to KZN. MKP got 45%. So that means the people in KZN said MKP must lead. They can take whoever they want, but they must lead. That is what the majority is saying. Is MKP there? No. I don't care what the system says, that the small parties can come together. No, if it's about the people and it's for the people have said 45.
45% said,
you can't override the 45%. You can't, if it's about the people. But because it's not about the people, that's why you're able to override the 45% and nothing happens. So tell me, why should I vote? Why should I encourage people? we took this thing, democracy. We were in first elections, the longest queue. I was there. Fortunately, I was qualifying to vote, old enough to vote there. But I'm telling you, it's not. Everything is managed. And who manages this whole thing is business. Business decides. They manage. They decide who comes. They manage. They decide how the elections are going to go. Everything that is happening. They
decide the players.
They decide everything.
They decide that by the time you vote, by the time Uzigote has to choose between rugby and cricket and soccer, you've put him in a school where they only offer those three.
Exactly.
But so we ask when, which you don't mind.
So they decide. They decide. Look, they run the show. They own everything. They own me. As I'm speaking, they own everything. And I'm a participant in the system that they own. So, and if I don't like it, one of the powerful things that I have is not to participate. If I don't like it, that's the only thing I have legally, is to not participate.
Dr. Uma Johnson was here 2 years ago, and his advice to South Africans was, don't vote. Let them know, of which it doesn't really do anything. But for those who are conscious and understand, these are people that are intentionally saying, we're not going to play this game. You can call us whatever, you guys are not voting, but we're letting you know that as soon as we jump on the field, we're like, but you played. You chose these guys.
Like, and they accuse you.
Yeah.
And if you really go back to what the election results told us, one thing that people don't want to admit is that the biggest vote was a no vote.
That is the biggest vote.
If you can go and get the people who did not vote for you, you are a majority government. The biggest vote that no one is talking about, it's a no vote.
But it's because the system is designed like that. So as if we didn't even reach 50% of eligible voters.
Exactly. And now the question is, so those who did not vote, what were they saying? If we are a democracy, are we not supposed to listen to what they were saying? Are they not the majority? They are the majority.
They are the majority. They didn't vote.
And they are saying to us, the system is bad. Fix the system. So in a long way to answer your question, my man, Guti, those are, I want to be a big business, but I want to also be a big business with conscience.
Sure.
Yeah, because I also understand that for us to win at this game, we need more of people who are going to be like you, Mlodjo, the other day you were saying on your status that you are tired of working for black people. And I'm like, Chief, don't worry. The cross, the journey chose you, did not choose it.
Baba.
No, I was telling you the truth.
The journey did not choose me.
I know you want to deny it. That's the truth.
Madondo,
yeah, but
I want to know about the construction mafia. And it requires me to answer. I wanted to ask
the construction mafia.
You come from ESCOM.
Yeah.
You spoke about the state being more involved in business.
Yeah.
ESCOM used to be an institution, a university. People would go there and come out with real skills.
Chief, ESCOM supplied everyone in the industry with skills.
I wanted to ask you if you believe in nationalization, state ownership.
Yes.
I do. When you speak about this gatekeeping and the like, because it would affect your business. And in that same breath, do you believe in nationalization? Do you think tenders are holding us back from building as a country? Which means Jombela can't now supply ESCOM or supply construction for government, but you would be there working as a manager or what, earning a good salary and upskilling a lot of young people.
How we did tenders in this country is the worst thing that has ever happened to this country. Tenders are the worst thing that has ever happened to this country. If you don't believe me, go and see what happened in Hammanskraal. They blew up a water system so that they can bring dirty waters using tanks. Those are tenders. Those are tenders, Brouam. You don't want to believe, I'm telling you. You go to Transnet, the railways. The railways is on its knees. We can't transport coal because the trucks must be on the road. Those are tenders. Those are tenders, Brouam. I don't want to lie to you. People are dying. Abu Babita, they died at Timis Hospital. Those are tenders. Those are tenders, Brouam. Once you really get into this beast, Yama tender, I tell you, tenders are bad for the country. I don't know what system we need to use. Maybe we need to go in other places and benchmark, but I can tell you the tender system is not working.
Construction as well.
In construction as well, it's not working.
You're speaking about the water mafia, where even if you want to, as gift of the giver, supply clean water, they tell you to stop because Melama water tanker abe commissioned by municipality so that they get paid.
So they
So that
sabotage
rather
the system.
people not have water or drink brown water from Hammanskraal.
The water valve that burst the rainwater here in Ekenhof.
Sure. In the south.
In the south. The one that was spilling out. If it wasn't for TikTok, we would not know that thing is spilling. We would have been told a story that no, we are doing maintenance. No, that thing was blown. That thing is like shooting water up so that the tankers can run. That's the downside of having tenders. Is that it's like, it's like security business, Ruam. There has to be crime for security business to exist.
The only way. Without
That's
crime,
the only way.
there's no business.
Without crime. So don't you think security business are also involved in crime?
Has to be.
It has to be. It's a natural thing. It has to be. So people, you don't have to fake things, but you must be sober in mind and look at these things and say, coming to Ama construction mafias, this thing is also produced by tenders.
I want to separate, sorry. So I'll speak because I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
We have a construction cartel in this country. And we saw this, because I can speak confidently, because we saw this in 2010 with the building of the stadiums. That there were few, I don't know their names. I think there was Marion Roberts, Group 5.
Group 5, Stain and what. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's WH.
WPHO.
WPHO, something. Wilson, Barley, whatever it is. There's a cartel.
Yeah.
Big. They've been there during apartheid and they would collude on prices. They've been fined. So I'm comfortable. People can go and read this. That's a cartel, which of course funds politicians,
it does all
pays
those
tax,
things.
creates jobs. They get the biggest tenders. I want to ask if they are part of, or if they straddle, or when we speak construction mafia, we're speaking about a new group of people now.
No, you see how construction mafia came about is like the Somalian pirates. When you look at the tender document, if you go and do a tender document, let's say we're going to build a bridge.
Yeah.
They'll say, Group 5, you've won the work.
Okay.
We're giving this work because it's big to Group 5. But Group 5, 30% of the work must go to smaller businesses.
Okay, because of PE.
Because of PE. Take them from the local, but this 30% is set aside of the job. Let's say it's 1 billion.
Yeah.
30% of 1 billion must go to these companies. Now, what the Group 5 do, they go and then they look for this, they don't find them, or they pretend not to find them.
Yeah.
They create their own. Who are going to work, but the money still comes here.
By create their own, you mean Babizo Penuel?
Yeah, Babizo Penuel as a front.
As a black
thing.
Would say, I think so company, and we're like, but Penuel's got the...
Yeah, some don't even give it at all.
They carry on doing the work.
Just carry on
we can't find anyone.
Because they say they can't find anyone, this, that, and they blackmail, and obviously they've donated to whoever who's now in power, they turn a blind eye. So people say, no, man, Lentole, yes, a game. Now we are going to take this 30% by force. This is how the construction mafia started.
It was small black construction businesses.
It was small black construction
businesses. That saw big white construction companies
taking everything.
Refusing to abide by BEE, refusing to share the work.
Exactly.
And they were like, man ngafuni fuseki ke sizoza ngenkani and we'll come and do the work, and it won't happen until you...
And it's happening under our eyes now with the people that are refusing foreigners to go to the hospital. People said, the law says, if a foreigner comes and they go to a public hospital, serve them, but register them and report them to the police. So we've got this person we've served, they don't have papers, nice into Zabola.
Yeah.
The health system does not do that because it's overworked. We understand.
They are overworked, yes.
But they don't do that.
Yeah.
Now, these people, they babonimbobo. Now, because the health professionals can't turn them away because they are legally bound to help them. But they're also legally bound to do the other part.
Yes.
That does not get done. So the system gets overworked.
I said to Sisu Zandile Dabula, the president of Operation Tutula. And she was saying she went, I don't know if it was Ipara or which hospital, and she asked them, once you've served these guys, do you report them? And they were like,
Yeah, man.
Which you're saying now is part of the work they're meant to be doing.
Part of the work that
serve the undocumented immigrant, But then after that, register their name or whatever, what you can, where they from.
Exactly.
And then
Then
hand
the
them over to
police
Mapois.
must do their work. So because people don't do their work, then communities start taking, and when people who are not legal to do stuff, we also actually take things overboard.
We do take things overboard. Because even the construction mafia, mhlampe yaqala ngesihle.
Exactly.
At some point bona ngathi uMadondo ngathi unamandla nezibhamu neinkabi. So manje every 30% noma isinikeziwe uzothi hayi vele uPenuel uyiFrance siyangena la siyakhudlula.
It started
Operation Kudlula.
I know when they started in Devon, they were called Dela Ngokubona. There's a group that they started Dela Ngokubona. When they were starting, I actually got to meet the guys who were doing this thing. And I was like, okay, guys, how do you intend? No bangchelo no so. They wanted to start a Dela Ngokubona in Joe's. So that's why I was in that meeting. And I looked at this thing and I said, hey, Chief, I don't have the energy and I don't have the guts to go to that extent. But I get where you come from. That Dela Ngokubona was still small. And over the years, it grew. And other criminals, obviously, they saw an opportunity.
Of course.
And then they now started doing this thing. Then it now moved from construction mafia into everything. Now, abantu basisten capo, bapatalusi protection fee. This thing started there.
But schools, bro, principals.
I tell you.
A principal has to pay 5,000 to...
Just for protection. Yeah. I'm telling you,
we're becoming
Chief,
a proper mafia state.
We are becoming, because of what? People who ignore to do the rules and do the things that are. That's why I'm saying, as much as I want to become a big business, but I want to become a big business with conscience.
Yeah.
Because there are big businesses that do these big tenders and they generally, genuinely go and look for right people in that area and give them work.
Yeah.
And they rotate these people. They don't give one person. They rotate these people. And their work is not disturbed.
Yeah.
Because there's this notion that construction mafias, they take work from everyone. I don't talk for them. I don't know them.
Yeah.
But I'm just giving you the side that no one wants to talk about. That these things, they do happen. And obviously, as they happen, they get out of hand and other people, they start doing actual criminality now. And this is where the law must now come in and take its course.
My last question to you. Mm-hmm. We've got the construction mafia, the water tank mafia now.
Coal mafia.
There's a coal mafia, Eskom. There's always, well, not always, but since Amatenda became a thing, there's tender mafias, of course. Amazamazama as well. Can we agree that this was always going to happen because this country was built off crime? With colonialism, the borders became the first gatekeeping. So we are South Africa because the British decided. They said it's compliance, but now you need to pay and to cross borders to come and work.
So it's big business that.
Anglo-American becoming the biggest one, which would formalize with the Oppenheimers, formalize government. You have your De Beers, your Cecil John Rhodes, Ubabaga, Johan Rupert, Anton Rupert, they'd also come in as the Afrikaners. And today we've got the Mutsipes now. So we had the British initially, and then we had Afrikaners, now we've got black. But if you look at how all of these things were built, and they've gradually gone into compliance, and we've got the regulators, but that was sophisticated crime.
Yes.
And it's inevitable that because you guys built this thing of crime, smaller criminals in the form of zamazamas, construction mafias, the spaza shops, were always going to pop up because in the crime that you committed, this goes back to your initial point of you hate people that hoard.
Yes.
You guys were hoarding.
Yes.
So one way or another, whether it's on the African continent, whether it's within South Africa, whether it's in a certain industry, people were going to fight back. And now you guys call them names and we call them names and what. But the reality is we don't want to go to the source of the criminality, which this country was built as a criminal enterprise.
Hey, Joe, we've got police who are involved in all these things. And guys says, but we told you that the guys who ANC in exile, for them to survive, they had to do all these funny things. Other people even allegedly say other people came in the country, they took stolen cars and sell them so that they can fund the liberation. Those are things that people are talking about in hush-hush tones. But now if you look at these things and you're listening to all these hush-hush tones, but you look at the results and saying, no, man, an orange tree can't give apples. These people were telling the truth. Sasbona listened to much. They're here. The chickens are coming home to roast. They're here. I mean, look at the borders. You know, Nkosazana Zuma did something one year that could kill this industry. But whoever is here, register them. I know it's not a popular view.
Yes.
But look, Chano, we've built what is the Silindela? You know, Bepeto Busasa. We arrest the illegal immigrants, we take them to Lindela, and then from Lindela we transport them home. And once we drop them home, they come back. It's a big business to cross the border. It's a huge business. The illegal immigrant movement business is huge.
If you were to shut it down, there's a lot of border officials, home affairs officials that will no longer be able to pay their home loans and their car loans.
Those even are small fries. It's a whole lot of system from home affairs to border what control to the cargo transport to the soldiers, the armies, so it's a whole chain. The illegal immigrant, it's a big business, and you can shut that business down by just a stroke of a pen.
You're saying the solution is to register people
Register
that are here.
them. When you find them, register them, and then make them to pay a levy to be in the country.
Isn't that what they would shut down? That solution to say, hi, Baba.
Yeah.
When ufuna ukulungisa system engikhandela imali every day.
Yeah, one. But once you do that,
the system is offline. We can't register them.
Let's be honest, Mchana. From which countries do we have people who are flogging here? Pakistan, that's a different mafia.
Yes.
But generally, the illegal immigrants, people who are flooding the country, they're from neighboring countries. They're from Lesotho, Swaziland, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. These four.
Yeah.
Okay? Take these four. You register them. They are here. Look, whether you agree, your child is pregnant. Whether you did not send the child to get pregnant, they are pregnant. Take them to the clinic, let them go through the classes, they are pregnant. These people are here. Whether we agree or we don't, these people are here. If you don't believe me, look at how they flood the clinic. Once they are here, make them pay. But you can't do that because you can't even employ your own people here. You understand? I'll tell you something, Chief. And the reason why this immigrant thing Bangai solve is because it serves big business. You know, in Mossel Bay or Western Cape is growing. The construction part in Western Cape is growing the same way as South Africa grew 95, 96 RDP. They're building suburbs like they're building RDP houses. In Mossel Bay, I'll give you a scenario. There's a square. We built a house in Mossel Bay. Chombela got a work to go into a construction house in Mossel Bay. The guy had a site, so he took us from Joburg going to Mossel Bay because the guys in Mossel Bay were expensive. So we're still cheaper with accommodation, flights and everything.
Still cheaper.
We're still cheaper. Okay. Our job is good. We know that part. But the other guys are also good. So the reason he took us, we were cheaper. So I get there. Obviously, I've got my crew. But with the job, you have to supplement. So as I supplement with the locals, there's a square there where all the construction guys go and wait for the bakkies there. All of them undocumented. You load them in the parking, maybe by 20, you go to work. The traffic cops are going to stop you. They're going to ask for a license. If your car is registered, they check. You've got your seat belt. They greet the guys at the back. They never ask for IDs. Not in the Western Cape. The guys will tell you, in the Western Cape, they don't ask for IDs. Have you seen the Western Cape with illegal immigrants on TV? Have you seen them? No. They understand that these are the people who build these things. So they let it slide. So it is big business. Big business always benefit out of all these things. So as government, you must be able to recognize all these players who are playing here and look after the people because we are elected by the people. To say, for me to serve South Africans, I can't ignore these people who are affecting the law of the South Africans. And taking them back is not a solution, Pen. It hasn't worked in the 30 years. It hasn't. I know that is not a popular thing. I know it's not what people want to, but it hasn't worked. You can ask them, they'll tell you, Chief, Nzobuya.
Just make them pay for being here.
Just make them pay for being here. There must be a monthly pay that they pay for being here. And once you've done that, and then with the money that they've paid you, you can do other things. You can create other businesses. You can actually even use that money to say, okay, I'm going to fund the health. If these people come, this is their health budget, and they must pay. They must pay. They must pay because they are here.
Yes.
When they go to hospital, they must pay. When they go, they must, so that you can hire more people, you can build more schools. Schooling system is collapsing because it's overburdened by them. You know, the hospital is overburdened by them. But when we honestly speak, these people are not just sitting and doing nothing. These people are working. My other brother has taxis from Sandton to Joburg. During the first xenophobia, he said to me, hey, Baba, this thing must stop because we did not work. I said, how did it not work? Because the big xenophobia, the taxis were running. So those are the people who are using taxis from Joburg to Sandton. They couldn't come out of their flats. So Hillpro could not travel. So Sandton Taxi Association did not make money during those 3 days.
Yes.
Because those people were not there.
Hillpro, Yeoville,
Hillpro,
surrounding
Yeoville,
Jeppes Malvern, etc.
That goes to Sandton. I'm just talking about Sandton only. They
Couldn't work.
They couldn't work because their customers were locked in. They were afraid.
Some of us need to have a conversation, uncomfortable, which South Africans are not going to like. But the reality is, rich people in the Western Cape, specifically white, have always benefited from cheap exploited labor. So they don't mind where it's from. To you, you're Zimbabwean, you're South African, they don't care.
They don't mind.
As long as it's cheap.
Do the work.
That's easy for South Africans to understand, and they get angry at whites.
Yes.
But abantu abamnyama emakasi must not act innocent, because when they do their hair, when they buy from a Pakistan, lo muntu obakhela ama-back room, they know very well they're also hiring undocumented, and they would have to pay more
if they hire a local
for
guy.
Locals.
Yes.
So benza sengathi akusithi, and you're like, no baba, yabo, if I ordered your life wena la ukushaya khona igross umuntu okwenzela inwele la ingane yakhe ifunda khona ecrash what njoba ukhuluma ukuthi nama-taxi obani abakhokha. It's a lot of undocumented immigrants.
Go to parliamentarians, ask them who works at their houses.
Who works at their houses. We don't speak about ipalapala as well when they speak about ukuthi labantu ababesebenza eplazini from Namibia.
Yeah.
Bafika kanjani because those are not scarce skills.
Exactly.
Madondo Sivale. Any closing remarks?
Look, thanks Mganami for bringing me here. But all that I'm saying is that I really appreciate being here. I really appreciate the people. People who must go out there and serve. There's lots of things that are good that are going on in this country. It just needs us. Yeah, it needs us. And I think with this bombardment of negativity, negative news, the country's going this, and da. I guess we're not doing service to ourselves. But there's lots of things that are good that are happening. So let's participate in those good things. Let's be those people who will really delay their joys and munati. And let's be people who are building this country, man. Our country needs us. And we are capable. And we are resilient as people. We've come from the worst situations and we came out triumphantly. So let's do that as people. I want to encourage young people, stay away from alcohol. I want to encourage young people. There's too much easy access to alcohol. And that thing is killing the nation. I know people in churches no longer talk about alcohol. People, they never mention alcohol as a problem. Alcohol is a problem, a huge problem in our country. It's a huge problem, alcohol. And I know that the people in power are not going to say this, but as a South African, a responsible father, an uncle, and somebody who sees young people who are going to be going to look older than me when they are 60 and I'm like 80 because of alcohol abuse. Alcohol is a drug. The fact that it's legal does not mean it is not a drug. It's a drug and it kills you. Softly and slowly, it kills you. So those are my closing remarks. I love you, South Africans. Look after yourself and let's do better. And one of the easy wins that we can have is reduce and stay away from alcohol.
You'll correct me. Muhe.
Yes.
Wena waseqhudeni zikode.
Nje.
Kangaba mwelase.
Awuzwe.
Mpukane kaMgedeza. Sifiso Madondo, thank you so much for joining us.
Ngiyabonga,
I look forward to us sitting again soon, whether on or off camera.
No, we must, even off camera especially.
Ngiyabonga.
Yeah, just the two of us.
Thank you.
Shomvan. Bulisa Umams. Umams came to my house. By the way, people don't know. You know,
I'll definitely do that.
Greet to Umams. Tell her I love her. She's done a good work with you guys. You know, under hard circumstances. I guess it's not easy raising abantu abanjengabo Penuel.
Hey, cut, lapho.